Alright, so I'm at Home Depot. I got a few pieces of lumber. These are 6 feet, 1 by 6 by 6 feet. And then I cut these in half for 3 feet. So I'm looking to make something 6 feet tall and about 3 feet wide. Basically what I gotta do next is put the landscaping fabric over the top of it, and then I'm gonna insulate it, put another layer of fabric on the front, and then I have black fabric just from a regular hardware store. No acoustic fabric this time, but this is the first module I'm building, so if I build another one of these, I'll get some GOM acoustic fabric. I'm just using some landscaping fabric from Home Depot. I'm gonna put a layer of it over the back, flip it over, insulate it, and then put the insulation and then another layer of fabric on the other side for the front. Okay, so I put fabric on the back side, flipped it over, filled it in with some insulation, but unfortunately, as you can see, I don't have enough, and that's because the bats of Rockwool that I got were only 15 inches wide, so each one of these sections are about 24 inches wide, so I would have needed 24 inch wide bats. So I basically just made do with what I had, and I only had 6 out of 12 bats because I used the other 6 for some tube bass traps. So I'm just gonna try to cover up that little hole there, and this should definitely do. I mean, they're pretty much full. I can even try to cut some other pieces and spread it out more evenly, but this is what it looks like when they're filled up. All right, so I just finished putting this up. As you can see, I didn't wrap it in the fabric yet because I ran out of staples. So I'm gonna do that probably tomorrow or another day. For now, I just have it setting up against the wall, and I am gonna air gap it about the same width of the actual module. So I'll air gap it about 6 inches. There are benefits in doing that depending on how thick you're going. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I'll also probably trim this down too, make it perfect, but I just wanted to fit it in the room and see how it looks so far. All right, guys, it is the next day. I want to wrap up the video talking about the panels a little bit. First of all, I do want to give a shout out to Warp Academy. He made a really good video demonstrating how to build these panels or modules, as you can also call them. Yeah, and some of the things that were highlighted too is that these are more ideal because you want something that goes floor to ceiling rather than just hanging something smaller on the wall. And on top of that, it's also good excuse me, it's also good to air gap them. So when you're just taking 2 foot by or 4 foot by 2 foot panels and hanging them on the wall, it's a little bit harder to have a nice air gap. So the good thing with these is that you can build them floor to ceiling, have them stand even on their own, without really having to do too much anchoring to the wall. Obviously, you could anchor them to the wall with certain devices, but yeah, you can have them standing floor to ceiling and have a nice air gap, and it's more effective. So as you can see in the video though, I didn't go floor to ceiling. I didn't do the measurement of exactly how tall it would have to be. So another rule of thumb is if your ceiling is 8 feet tall, you wouldn't really want to make them 8 feet tall because you're gonna need a little bit of a clearance on the top. If I build another one of these, I will most likely go at least 7 feet tall. My ceilings are 8 feet, so I'll most likely go around 7.5 feet tall, just right up to the ceiling. But another thing too is when it comes to the landscaping fabric that I used, there's some spots that are a little bit loose. Now, the good thing with using staples is that I can take them out really easily and adjust the fabric, but I was kind of rushing and did it was being a little lazy. So So I might go back and fix that, but I definitely recommend taking the time to stretch the fabric and make it look as nice as possible. Now, also, I have black fabric that is supposed to go on the front, and I didn't put the fabric on the front because I ran out of staples. So I have another staple gun at where I'm at right now that I wasn't using yesterday, so that's why I didn't have enough staples. But I'm gonna put the black fabric over that. Now I recommend also you take a look at the insulation that you use. I use Safe and Sound, which isn't a bad option. You just have to consider the density. So you don't want to go with something too dense, but you would want something more dense than fiberglass, let's say. So Rockwell Safe and Sound is a good middle point. I think Comfort Bat is probably a better option because it's a little less dense, but they are Comfort Bat and Safe and Sound are pretty similar. So, and the Comfort Bat I'm talking about is the light blue one, not the dark blue one. I forgot the R value, but there are a few different Comfort Bat options. But I went with Safe and Sound. It's still gonna do the job. And yeah, I basically, just to say one more time, I basically made them 6 feet tall, 3 feet wide, and I made 3 different compartments inside. Each is 24 inches wide. That adds up to 72 inches total. The next one that I build, though, is definitely going to be 4 feet wide by however many feet tall, most likely 7.5. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, to go over the cost one more time, if we add up a few of the costs, let's say $45 for the wood, say $90 for the insulation. And the good thing about the insulation is that you'll probably have a little bit left over, which is good. So $45 for the wood, $90 for the insulation. You're going to want to buy, if you don't have staples or the stapler gun, that's going to probably cost you $30. Assuming you have a drill, because you do need a drill, you will need some screws. The screws are like $10. And also, if you don't have a saw, a miter saw or a track saw or a circular saw, you can always get your wood cut at Home Depot free of charge. I recommend doing that. Just make sure that you measure and they know how to cut it, because sometimes those people don't know what they're doing. I'll be honest. But yeah, 45 plus 90 plus 30 plus 110 just for that. You're going to need the landscaping fabric, which is about 25. And then if you go with good acoustic fabric, you'll probably spend about $60. That is probably the most expensive part of this build. So let's say you spend around, there is shipping too, so let's say you spend $80. That brings your cost to $280. Now, $280, keep in mind that you'll probably have more fabric left over. The landscaping fabric you'll definitely have left over. The insulation you'll definitely have left over. So some of the materials you will have left over. The screws you'll have left over. The staples you'll have left over. $280 for a module like this, and that might be on the high end. You don't have to get expensive fabric like that. You could get regular fabric that is the right size. The good thing about the acoustic fabric is that it's designed for that, so you're getting some good stuff. But I mean, $280 for a module that is about 4 feet wide, 3 to 4 feet wide, and is floor to ceiling, is a good price in my opinion. I mean, if you build it correctly, you're putting the right stuff in it, you're gonna get a good result. And a lot of companies that sell things like that, it would be way more than $280. So I think it's a good deal, to be honest. And $280 might even be on the high. So it really depends what materials you end up going with. I'm gonna wrap this up. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Leave them in the comment section below. As always, take care. I'll see you guys next time.